For corporate work and brand videos, so product videos, interviews, anything like that, the C300 Mark III might just be one of the best choices on the market right now. The C200 has been a very strong contender in this market recently from Canon, so is the FS7 and the FS5 from Sony. So the C300 Mark III does sit at a bit of a premium price point than those other cameras, so it's likely this will be a potential top-end camera choice for most corporate shooters. If you can stretch to it with your budget though, it will be a real workhorse of a camera for you. Canon's dual pixel autofocus is across the board for Canon's lineup. It certainly isn't specific to the C300 Mark III, but it's got to be mentioned, as corporate work is probably the area where having autofocus that is this good really makes a huge difference. It speeds up B-roll massively, and of course it goes without saying how useful face tracking for interviews can be. If you aren't using a camera with decent autofocus performance for corporate yet, I really do recommend that you try it because it will just change the way that you work. But of course, Canon have the hugely popular C200, which has that same autofocus technology. So why would people step up to the C300 Mark III for corporate work? After all, it's pretty much double the price of the C200. Well, whether or not it's worth it will very much depend on you and the way that you work. The C200 is a fantastic camera after all. The two big feature improvements that you're going to get with the C300 Mark III are replacing that 8-bit MP4 codec with 10-bit 422XF AVC and being able to push 4K recording up to 120 frames a second without cropping in. With corporates, it really is up to you and how much grading you do as to whether or not 10-bit is going to be worth paying this amount more for. It's rare that your clients will be requesting it specifically, for example, or even, let's be honest, care what format you're shooting on. So for as long as you can get good results, everyone's normally happy. And the 8-bit MP4 in the C200 is better than numbers would suggest, so for many people, the C200 will just be absolutely fine. 10-bit is of course though significantly better, and for a lot of people out there, if you do a lot of work with heavy color grading, where you might see banding, anything like that, the upgrade to the C300 Mark III with 10-bit is going to be worth it. For slow motion though, the C300 Mark III is a huge step up. If you do any slow motion work in your projects at all, this feature alone will be well worth it. The 4K 120 frames a second is fantastic. It's very detailed and you still get full autofocus. Plus you can activate it at the push of a button, so it's very quick to turn on and off. Great for fast-paced B-roll or lifestyle, fashion, anything like that. There's just so many areas where having slow motion that is this good will just elevate your work to a whole new level. Combine those features with the bits that we all know are great about Canon Cinema EOS lineup, like the ergonomics and of course the image quality, and you end up with a pretty incredible camera for corporate work. But what do you think? Is it worth a step up in price for this market, or would you just go for the C200? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you want to buy a C300 Mark III for your own work, then just head over to proav.co.uk with the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.